I won't bless that guy, that son of a
that son of a that poor son that poor son that
son of a bitch. Welcome to the Pro Crastinators podcast. We're the reason people
the
are dying.
Procrastinators. That's true.
That's the phrase we use every time.
Every single time we say that, and every single time it gets funnier.
It's true. It gets truer.
I'm opening up my speak pipe so that when we get to that part of the show, we will have...
Which is now. Let's go straight to voicemails.
Honestly, we probably should.
No,
but
no,
we can't.
I do have a few things to talk about this time.
I have
Last time I was
handful of
unprepared. I didn't think to write down notes. This time I did at least one.
I have 3 notes today. I have 3 notes. Usually these stretch out for a long time. Well, we want to lead off with something?
Yeah, okay. So, I have been playing, and only a little bit, because it's very new, and I haven't really had a chance to use it yet. But have you heard of Pikmin Bloom?
Is that the new Pikmin?
It is a Pikmin Pokemon Go clone made by Niantic, and it involves walking around Google Street Map view, but with Pikmin involved instead of Pokemon, and it's really cool actually, because it's not about going and finding rare Pokemon, although there are Pikmin that are rare and all that. They gotta sell bullshit like things. They have their all like coin store and all that, but the draw is not about like going and exploring and spinning Pokestops and gyms and stuff. It's just walking, because it counts your steps. It's a step counting game, so it just encourages you to go on walks to make flowers bloom and Pikmin, and you just have a bunch of Pikmin following you around on the map.
I did see some people talking about it on Twitter. I mean, I have not played Pokemon Go in a long time because of my shitty phone, which I definitely should have switched to the new phone that Crack gave me by now. I just haven't done it.
You just got given a phone?
Yeah, Crack just gave me he had a bunch of phones, he said, and he just was like, here, this one will work better than yours. And he just gave me one.
Wow.
And I have not switched yet. So I don't know if it's true, but it probably is. Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool because it's like you don't have to actively play it. It's basically the egg hatching, a bunch of steps in a Pokemon Go. You hatch eggs by walking large amounts of distance. You don't have to have your phone open and active. So it uses like the Google Fit like step counter. So you have to download Google Fit. It'll count your steps when the phone is just, on standby. And then you open it up after you've had like a walk in the park, or you're just going around to a place, just going anywhere. And then you say, oh, look at all the new like nectar I got. And then your Pikmin, you can feed them, and their flowers bloom. And you just have a bunch of Pikmin, and they use like the Nintendo Me, avatar that's linked to your Nintendo account, or you don't have to link it, but I did. And
it's your me walking around.
So it's much more customizable than Pokemon Go, which sucks.
Pokemon Go,
to be frank,
does suck. The customization sucks.
You can have one hair style. That's it. Stupid. But the Miis it looks like me. It's really me for real. And the cutest thing is you can use these petals that you get from your Pikmin, and you like activate them, and then flowers start blooming where you walk. And the point of that is to lay flowers so that you can look at where you've been, but also everybody in the game sees the same flowers. So if you've left a trail of flowers, people can see that trail if they're in the same area. It's just sort of like slowly the world is being covered in flowers and nice things. And you do that to like make larger like flowers bloom in place of like Pokestops. There's like these big buds, and the more flowers that are grown around it, the more they grow, and then like items can fall off of them, and your Pikmin can just pick them up and bring them to you. And it's really like casual. You just sort of you see cute things happen every so often, and you just need to go for a walk. It's not an intensive, annoying min-maxy game like Pokemon is sometimes. And I like it. I like just you don't really need to do anything, and it's cute.
I love a game where I don't have to do anything.
All you need to do is go outside, and that's a good thing. Even though it's
that is
cold.
a good thing. That is a good. It's getting a little bit cold for going outside. I gotta take my air conditioner out of my window. I keep telling myself it's fine and I don't have to move it. No, I'm sure it's not leaking cold air or anything, but it is. I have I still don't go. I'll go out a little bit more often these days. I still don't go out enough. I don't go on like walks anymore. I guess I probably should.
I need to as well.
Yeah.
It's just one of those like, but I like being fat and lazy. That's way funner.
That's true. Speaking of being fat and lazy, my lifts are coming along. I'm strong now. My lower back is sore. My last deadlift, I think I pushed it a little far. My form was bad, and I was like, no. So I went down 5 pounds, and I deadlifted again the other day, and my form was good. I was like, yes, success. But my lower back is really sore. I think it's sore in the good way. I think it's sore like it was a good workout, and not like my bones have incurred some damage. My connective tissues.
Don't worry about that. The more you break the bones, the stronger they become.
They grow back
stronger.
They grow back stronger. Yes, that's right. Thankfully, yes.
Just hit your head against a fucking brick wall, and then you'll have like a shield.
Your brain damage, and your brain will grow back stronger the second time.
Not smarter, just stronger. There'll be more mass.
Definitely not smarter. Yes, it will be tougher. It will be scar tissue to resist a second attack. It won't be able to think though. Man, I saw like a GIF or I saw a video of neurons on like a petri dish. It was like a microscope footage of the caption said it was neurons attempting to make connections, and the neurons were like, they were literally like swirling around, like moving around and like extending their little cell arms and like reaching out, like trying to grab each other. And I was
gross, but cool.
It felt like the way it feels when you're trying to think of something that you forgot, and you're like trying to reach, like, oh, what was it? It's like its little cell arms like reaching, like shooting out, like trying to grab each other and make connections between each other. I hope
they stretched before.
I was like, yep, that's what it's like. That's how it is in there. It's kind of gross, a little horrifying, like most things are.
I don't like to imagine my brain filled with tiny little squirming arms.
No.
I like to imagine my brain as a corridor with doors in it, and you go in the door and there's like, hey, remember that?
No. False. Shit. Oh, fuck, that was gonna make me say something, but what was it? Oh no. Help.
Neurons. You saw neurons fired when you saw something.
Memories? Oh no, I can't remember. I literally have to do
arms.
the thing. I have to squeeze out my nasty little cell arms and grab more of them. Come on, neurons, agglomerate.
Think.
That's the think about what you're trying to do to me. That's the if you watched Sonichu Lecture 2, you know that is the official theme anthem of Quickville is "Think" by Aretha Franklin.
Oh.
She wrote that song after looking in a microscope and seeing some neurons squirming around and thinking, yeah, that is what it's like. I want to write a song about it. Think about how you're just a collection of neurons.
Oh no.
I was watching.
But I thought love was real, but actually,
Ooh, it's just a chemical reaction, bitch. Rick and Morty. Speaking of, there was I was catching up on the Anamorphing Time podcast. I'm a few episodes behind, but I watched one, and I think it was Tyler of Nate and Tyler. I think it was Tyler that said something about like the human body is like so much of it is actually just bacteria. Like we're basically just a scaffolding for bacteria to live in.
I know that's true in the intestines, kind of.
Yeah, probably not in the whole body equally. Like I don't think that's true in the brain, fortunately. Yeah, in the gut probably. This is interesting. A viewer of the show, a watcher of the show named Bob Disgaea was on an episode of Anamorphing Time, and I think it's the next episode that's coming out soon, I think. And apparently he messaged me on Discord, and he told me about it, and he said that he peppered in a bunch of like PCP memes and references or something, and I just thought that was pretty funny. It's a weird...
Epic.
It is epic. I can't wait for... that episode's not out yet, but I think it's coming. I gotta catch up on the show so I can be contemporary when it...
What even is a PCP meme? I can't even try and... like.
Well, I know he drops at least one patreon.com/Vincent.
That's a great PCP meme.
He didn't specify. He's just kind of vaguely alluded to that he made a bunch of like he made some references, and I don't know what they were, but I'm curious. Wait, shit. Oh god, I'm reaching again. My neurons. What's happening to me today? It was about...
Your mind is a petri dish.
Wait, it was about... It was literally on this subject. It was about Bob Disgaea. It was about Anamorphin Time. Oh, I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, but the Anamorphing Time guys have a guy. They have a guy who I think hooks them up with like interesting animal facts. I think that's what this guy's job is. He sends them like the most interesting, like weird animal trivia for them to discuss. And that guy is a guy who I knew. He used to be in my old Discord, not in the current iteration of my Discord, but in the previous iteration from a few years ago. That guy's name is Divine Soup Can. And like I was listening to Anamorphing Time, and they're like, "Yeah, our guy Divine Soup Can," and I'm just like, I was like, "What?"
I think I recognize that name. Yeah.
Wacky. I guess it's a coincidence that it's just a guy who used to be around, and now he's over there. I can't believe
people on the internet continue to exist after I stop looking at them.
I wish they would not. Actually, as a matter of fact.
Speaking of, well, I was going to say speaking of whatever you were speaking about, but it's got nothing to do with that. Picross, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love Picross. It is my go-to brain game, time waster. And I've been playing the Steam game of Picross, and I've been slowly completing every single puzzle that they have, and I'm now up to like the very last one, which is 40 by 40, which is a very big grid. And they're like the method of like figuring it out works every time, so I don't really need to think that much. I just need to count from left to right, up to down, filling in the squares, and it's taking over my life. I feel like after I completed this entire Steam game of Picross, pages and pages and pages of puzzles, I'll be like, well, now what? Do I have to buy another Steam game? Do I have to buy more? Do I have to... There can never be a Picross that is too hard to complete.
You must consume. You must consume more content, is what you must do at that point.
Oh, I don't... it's too much. It's like yesterday, I had Red Letter Media half in the bag in the background, and at the point where you're like re-watching Half in the Bag because you've already re-watched all of the best of the worst, that you've been doing too much YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm like re-listening to that and just doing Picross all day, and I was like, oh wait, there was a day here, and it's gone.
I've been
I should stop, but it's just so like you click on the boxes and you make a picture.
My most recent iteration of that YouTube phenomenon is that I've been, I like a bunch of Tisnaker's videos, but I haven't played most of the games he's talking about. Well, I'm down bad for YouTube content to the extent that I was listening to his Yakuza videos, even though I don't play Yakuza and I don't know what he's talking about. But I gotta listen to something. Yeah,
it sucks. I can't help feeling like I've got to do something about this. But when I sit down, I'm like, you know what? I feel like just having some random crap in the background.
Yeah.
And doing Picross again.
You know what? I actually rediscovered something that this is not the first time I figured this out, but I remembered that actually I kind of work better with music on. It has to be the right kind of music. It has to be like energetic music. I have to be vibing with it. And then I can really like help me stay focused on the task at hand. And I've been putting on some tunes this week while I was cranking out Phantom's Revenge assets, and I think it probably helped me focus better on that. But the thing about that is that there's very little music that I like, and that like I am excited to listen to, and that I vibe with in that way. I'm like, I'll like pick a song and I'm like, yeah, this song's good. And I'll listen to it on loop for a while, and then I'll get bored of it and I'll be like, well, fuck, now what? There's nothing else.
There's a fine line for me with music between being hype and being like, yeah, I love this, and being too hype that I take my hands off my keyboard and mouse and I start like miming the drums. And just moving my head around. I can't help. I love miming drums.
That's funny. That never happens to me.
I get too into it. It's just musician things, you know.
I guess so. Interesting.
Like Wolfpack is like, it's so fucking good, but I can't work to it.
No, that happens to me if a video essay or some YouTube video is on and I get too interested in it, I'll like start looking at it instead of my work. With music, I'm never like, oh, I gotta pay attention to this. I gotta drop what I'm doing and pay attention.
Yeah, I mean that's why Half in the Bag and Best of the Worst is good, because it's just sort of like some noise. I've seen these videos before, and occasionally Rich Evans' laugh is so loud, and I'm like, oh yeah, there they are. But I should be doing work to that, and I'm not. I'm just playing Picross again, like a fucking rube. Although, at the moment, like, I said last week, I'm working on secret project stuff. And I'm still sort of doing that, but I'm sort of, like, going back to my computer at the end of working on that secret project. And doing the Red Letter Media.
You can't work on it like 24 hours a day.
No.
Yeah.
So while I'm working on it, it's not really the sort of thing I could do with sound. Or like distractions, but whatever.
I can draw with music.
Yeah.
I can't really program with music, and I definitely can't program with like a talky YouTube video. Drawing I can do a bit by sort of reflex, or a bit by sort of like I don't really have to think about it too much. I can just kind of do it by feel. I don't have to concentrate on it that much. It depends what it is.
Sketching out blocking out a page of a comic is more intensive than line art.
Yes.
You're just filling in the things and making each line look good with the other lines. You don't really need to think about the entire feeling of the page because you figured that out already with the sketch.
oh man, it felt amazing. I had a euphoric moment, a few euphoric moments this week. Actually, is when I was working on. Actually, shit. It might have been last week. It's sort of blending together. But I was working on Phantom's Revenge. I was drawing some assets, and I don't want to be too specific for spoiler reasons, but I had to draw
the butler sprite because the butler did it.
I had to draw a face. I had to draw a face that was screaming with rage, and I sketched it, and then I like moved it to my little like sprite template, and then I like sprited over it, and I added the details, and the whole time I'm drawing this face, I had music on, I was vibing with it, and I'm drawing this rage face, and I was making the face. I'm twisting up my own face in rage, just going like, ah, like making the sound. Did I talk about this last week?
I think you did talk about this
last week.
Because
I remember screaming into the microphone last week. So it felt so good. It felt so fucking good being enraged. Okay, sorry to bring that up again. Listen, we've done 3,000 episodes of the PCP. I guess it's okay to recycle material, but it's not okay to recycle material from last week. So I have to be careful about that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, it's a little difficult because like the secret project. Yes. I don't want to reveal it yet, but I'm thinking in the back of my head, well, if it has been revealed, there's so much I could talk about, so much content I could make and put in this podcast we're doing. Yeah. And it's like hard because like aside from that and playing video games and learning about Pikmin, there's not really much I've been doing. How do I fill a podcast with, oh, I've been working.
I've been working on something.
Working. You'll know.
Beats working. Yeah, I mean...
I have to wonder at some point, like, does anyone care what the secret is? Would
I already know what it is. So.
You do. But, like the people, like, is the hype building, or is there no point to me keeping a secret about it? I'm not sure.
I think that, probably some people listening are curious what the secret is. Probably most people will only be the most hype when it's revealed all of a sudden, right? I feel like the real win of being secret, to a certain extent, it might build hype. Well, okay, it would build hype if you were like, it's interest, a secret. It's a secret, but I'll release it like at a specific date, and then you would hype up like, this is the date that I'm going to drop the secret, and maybe you drop a few like very tiny breadcrumbs. If that would maybe build hype. In the moment, it's probably only building a bit of interest, but it will be the moment when you release. And all of a sudden you're like, here's this fully finished thing that I never even talked about before. Yes. That will be, everyone will be like, what? Huh?
It is one of those, like, because I imagine, like, I'll put it out on the PCP. Not everybody listens to the PCP that's in the, like, PCP fan circle. So I have to go to Discords and tell people individually, hey, look at this. And even then, there'll be people who slip through the cracks and be like, months and months later, be like, oh my god, Gib, I had no idea you were doing this. And I was like, yep, well... Follow me on Twitter, you idiot.
You
I'll
don't talk about it. Oh, well, once you put it out.
Once I'm not going to not tweet it on Twitter. It's going to be I'm going to say it in every possible way I can. I wonder what my reach is. Like if you could quantify that.
Yeah.
How many people could I notify about a thing I'm doing?
I believe, your reach. I believe the term for that would be your reach.
Yes. My neurons. How far can my neurons reach other neurons from other people?
So yeah, I get Phantom's Revenge is like no longer a secret project. It was for a while. Oh my god, I'm thinking, man, I started working on it in December, and then I released the demo in April, and now it's November. God, yeah. I'm like. God, that feels terrible.
What even happened this year?
I don't know.
Oh my god, I don't think anything happened. I think I was sick most of this year.
That feels terrible, and I feel like, okay, my gut says the answer is no, but I don't know if I can trust my gut on this one. I hope that it's wrong. My gut feeling is no, and the question is, like, was it worth the time? Did the time justify itself in working on it? I hope so. I guess we'll see.
Wait, I know what happened. They made the Lord of for me, it's the Lord of Ghosts Kickstarter, Clarissa Gunsmoke, and then from January, the secret project was started.
You did do Clarissa Gunsmoke. That was this year, right? Earlier this year?
Yeah, it was a few months ago. It was fully released, and
in August?
Going to... How long ago was August? What the fuck?
Well, it's November. That would have been 3.5 months ago? No, it was longer ago than that, right?
There's no way that Clarissa Gunsmoke initially with the streams was last year, but I released it recently.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's... Yeah. The thing about secret projects, though, that I want to say is Phantom's Revenge is no longer a secret project, but I have recently started another secret project. But it's not...
Oh, no.
No, it's not what you think. I'm not going to say what it is. It's not a thing that I have...
Phantom's Revenge DLC?
It's not something like Phantom's Revenge where I'm going to be working on it for a long time. It's just a little thing... I can't even
You're starting a band.
I can't even hint at what it is without giving it away. I hope this will not be too long before I can announce it. It is just a little thing that I got cooking under the hood in the background. It will hopefully be ready. It will hopefully be ready in not too long, and I will not actually have to do a lot of work on it myself. I won't give any more details than that what it is, but when it's ready, I'll let people know, and I think everyone will have a good chuckle about it. I think it will be very amusing for everyone, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
I see. I have an idea what it might be, but I won't say anything.
Okay, yes, please don't say anything if you have an idea.
Yeah.
But it's a little... It's going to be funny. It's going to be really funny. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. All right. Let me complain for a second. You already know this, Gib, but I just got to complain about my headphones.
Yes.
For a long time, I've had this. My headphones have been shit, and they just sometimes the battery. They're wireless. The battery dies on them all the time. The signal sometimes just fails. Recently, in the last 5 or 6 episodes of the PCP, I've had a thing where my signal will get choppy, and I'll have difficulty. It'll be a little choppy. And the only way I can fix it is by turning my head a little bit to the left. Just sitting where I am and just turn my head a little to the left. And then it works better for some reason. Today, I had unplugged my headphones because I had been using my USB ports for other things. So I plugged the dongle back in, and I sit down to record, and there's almost no signal. I can just... It's so choppy that it's just a little occasional... And I'm like, okay. And then I try turning my head, and I can turn my head, and when I turn my head to this one particular angle, I can kind of hear. But I'm like, I can't just sit with my head at a single angle. It's so bad that I'm not just going to sit here frozen in place with my head at this one angle, like a radio aerial, just I got to tilt my head or I can't hear. So I had to get these other headphones out. My dad gave me a pair of headphones a while ago. And I've busted them out today, and I've plugged them in, and they're working pretty well. They're not as comfy. I don't know. They're the kind that go over your ears, which I sort of don't like as much. But whatever, they're fine. They're fine, except that the cord, these are not wireless. I think they have a Bluetooth connection, but I have not enabled it. But the headphone jack cord that they came with is so short. It's 2 feet long. I can't move my head. Oh, God. Oh, I know. Oh, God, I unplugged it. I unplugged it.
Oh.
Wait, I'm plugging it back. I jerked my head to make a point. Can you hear? Hello? Are you there? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Wait. Say something?
Something.
Okay, no. All right. I thought maybe I was hearing it through Bluetooth, but, okay, say something again?
Something.
Phew. All right. Cool. So, anyway, that's my... I was going to say I got to get a longer cord, but actually I should probably just try and enable Bluetooth. I guess that would
Yeah,
probably
maybe.
be good.
I never liked wireless headphones. I mean, I know the appeal, the utility of such a thing is very obviously great. You can move your head around. But I've got these, I've had these, I think, well, I have to take them off to see the logo. Hang on. Yeah, Sennheiser headphones that are like used, they were recommended by my university as like good for doing audio work. So I got those, and they've got a really long cable. I can walk all the way around the room wearing them, and they're comfortable. And I've had them forever. And it's just a wired connection is just so much more reliable.
When I even with my wireless headphones, I would often use them with a wire because I would need to have them plugged into a wall socket, because they'd be out of battery anyway. So like half the time it didn't even matter that they were wireless. It doesn't matter to me that much whether they're wireless or not. Just this short wire is very annoying. At least I can change the angle of my head. I just can't move my head more than like 2 feet away from my computer tower. Lol. Hey, you know what I was doing? I did a little bit the last like day or two. Just because you mentioned it on the last episode, and I went and I watched some British financial YouTubers talk about credit cards. Yes, I learned a little bit. I was a bit disappointed to learn what I had already felt might be the case, which is that the rewards you can get from British credit cards are just not very good. They never looked very interesting. There's one guy I watched called Sasha Jansen, and he said that like cashback rewards cards in the UK almost don't exist. Like they used to kind of exist, but now they've been like just in the last like year or two, they've been like drastically reduced. I think due to COVID, he said that seemed to have something to do with it. But he recommended there's like one left that kind of is good that he recommended, and they were the Amex Platinum Cashback and the Amex Platinum Cashback Everyday are two like similar cards that do give a substantial reward. They have a certain they have a sign up bonus and they have a percentage cashback bonus. So if you were still interested, that was what he recommended. Amex Platinum Cashback Everyday. The difference is like the Everyday one is no fee, but it like has like a slightly lower reward basically. So it's like if you're gonna spend over like 10,000 or like £5,000 in a certain period, the regular one is better. But if you're gonna spend less than that, the Everyday is better. Something like that. That was what I learned. That was basically the gist of what I learned. From. Do
you have a link to that video so I can listen to him say it?
I think there were Sasha Jansen,
Baron Cohen.
Wait, Sasha Jansen. Yeah, there were two. There was one where he just kind of. Okay, I think this was the video. There's one where he goes over like. Okay, I think he probably mentions the Amex Platinum Everyday cashback in this one right here. I'll put it in the. Sorry, I'm taking forever to do this. I'll put it in general here. Does he mention Amazon Classic, Tesco Foundation, Zopa, Aqua Advance, Capital One Classic? Oh no, these are like beginner ones. There's a different video where he recommends the Amex Platinum one. Shit. No, I gotta find it. I have to find Eleazar, cut out the awkward silences. Okay, he definitely does mention the Amex Platinum cashback in this one. I think this is it. There might have been one or two other ones, but yeah, anyway. Okay.
That thumbnail is funny. Even though I use that as the currency denominator symbol, it's funny seeing it being like, oh, make pound, pound, pound.
Oh, yeah. Instead of dollar, dollar, dollar.
Yeah, I'm so used to seeing dollars used.
Yeah, just as like, you're right. I noticed that too. Those crazy Brits and their crazy GBPs.
I love I've always loved writing the little pound sign. Not like that. I do like a squiggly one.
Yeah, with like it's the loop at the bottom.
Yeah, the loop at the top and the bottom.
Yeah, I like it too. I like treble clefs, and I like ampersands, and I like the pound sign, the GBP pound sign, not the hashtag pound sign.
Is there a name for that, or is it just the pound sign?
It can't. Well, if it's called the pound sign, then it shares its name. Hold on. Symbol. This is fun fact challenge.
Oh shit!
We're
Who's gonna
looking
find
up
it first?
Symbol for GBP. Okay. Well, it's called the pound sterling. No, it is. It's just called the pound sign.
Pound sign.
The pound sign is the symbol for the pound sterling. Okay.
Origin. Symbol derives from the uppercase Latin letter L, representing Libra Pondo. Also Pondo pound, okay.
Same
Basic unit of weight. So it was always a unit of weight.
Same origin as the LB for like pounds as in the weight measurement. Wait, no. Is that's LB, not LP.
Oh, interesting. The
LP toss!
The pound, it was always a weight, became an English unit of weight, and in England became defined as the Tower pound, equivalent to 350 grams of sterling silver. So it's based on silver. The literal weight of silver is why it's called the pound. Interesting.
I feel like I knew that. I feel like...
I'd never looked into this before.
I kind of just assumed that. Like, it had to be a pound of something, right? And I mean, it's called a pound sterling, so like, of course it's silver. What else could it be? I was... Wait, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Do you miss me?
Yeah. Big Joel made a thread on Twitter the other day where he talked about inflation and how like inflation is kind of good actually because like if a currency inflates,
I don't care about his fetishes.
It devalues it literally like helps the bottom like percentage because it devalues the assets of the people that have a lot of money and it devalues the debt of people that owe money. Like it's like when inflation it's literally like good for poor people when inflation happens as long as it doesn't like go out of control, hyperinflation, the economy's broken. And he mentioned the gold I forget he mentioned this and I had heard of it before, but it wasn't something I knew a lot about. He mentioned that like the switch like from the I think from like the gold standard to the silver standard or something was like a big like proletarian movement. It was like a working class movement to switch from the gold standard, and like doing that like somehow caused like a mass wealth transfer basically. The idea was like that also was sort of like devaluing currency, but it was like there was a labor push for like the adoption of like the silver standard, and like the goal there was like devalue the currency because it represents in effect a mass wealth transfer from the top to the bottom, and inflation kind of does that, which is sort of interesting.
I guess it makes sense if you've got like a large amount of money and it goes down by 1%. The richest people will lose more. It's than a
true.
Poor person.
It does make sense, and it's just true. People get hung up on like, oh, inflation. Oh, my money is worth less, and like, yeah, true. Your money is worth less, sort of, but like, if everybody's money is collectively worth less, then the cost of goods must increase across the board, right?
Well, your money is worth less, but people who have more money, it's worth even less, and so it's sort of normalizing currency.
So in terms of like where you stand on like the hierarchy, you have actually moved up because the people above you have been hurt worse than you.
Based.
A little bit base. Yeah, the economy. Am I right? Um,
No, you're wrong.
the reason why. Okay, um, long time viewer, someone whose name I remembered, but I had not heard from or seen post in a long time on Twitter. Reverse Spectrum. He added me with a video that he thought I would be interested in, and he was absolutely right. This was amazing. This was a video about the infinite money machine, is what it was called. Wait, what was the channel called? Infinite Money Machine.
Just.
This was okay. The channel was called Patrick Boyle. This video is very funny. He delivers it in like a very dry, sort of sarcastic way, and it's really funny. It's a good video. Here, I'll link the video. The point of the video is a story about a guy who basically scammed his credit card company, but it's like legal. He just exploited a loophole wherein he had a card that gave him 5% cash back at grocery stores. So he would go to grocery stores, buy Visa gift cards, use the Visa gift cards to buy money orders, transfer the money orders as deposits into his bank account, and then use the balance in his bank account to pay the credit card that he had used to buy the Visa gift cards. And, you know, all the fees in that transaction were less than the 5% cashback that he was getting from doing it. And so he was just getting free money every single time he did it. And he just did it for a year, and he made like $300,000. And yeah, and the funny part is they couldn't even tax him. They couldn't even tax him on the income because it's not income. It's discounts. He generated $300,000 in free money, and it wasn't even income. It was $300,000 in discounts of money that he never had in the first place. Just awesome. Just awesome. And
I guess that doesn't work anymore now that it's known.
Okay, it might work in some cases. It's basically just a question of like how soon will the bank catch you doing it. If the bank can terminate your account for any reason. If they catch you generating hundreds of thousands of dollars, they can just terminate your account if they want to. So it's basically just like how can you fly under... Also, it's how long can you fly under the radar doing it? And also, I think that kind of across the board, like rewards and cashback have just kind of gone down because of like the economic, recession and stuff. So it's a bit harder to do. It's definitely harder for a multitude of reasons. But I think, I don't know, I was considering how I could maybe pull off a limited version of it. I don't know, I have, I could buy like Instacart gift cards. I can buy them online. I don't even have to go to a store. If I could flip them for for like a relatively small, fee, I could do that with I don't have unlimited 5% like this guy had, but I have like 5% cashback on groceries up to like an annual limit of like, $10,000 or whatever. So if I could like do that much, I could be generating, a few hundred, maybe $1,000. I mean, optimally, if I could do it with no loss, which I probably can't. But it really makes you think, gets your noggin jogging.
Yeah.
There's something so appealing to me. There's something so appealing to me about cheating the system. About like just living on like not. What's really appealing to me about stuff like this is that it's like, if this is how you make your money, you're not working for anyone. You don't have an employer. Nobody is extracting your surplus value. You're just taking it from people with more than you. And I just think that's so cool. It's noble.
That is. It's
noble. In my opinion, I would call myself a hero, actually. Yeah. So anyway, good video, that one. Oh, he has another one about like the Beanie Baby. He had one about it's sort of about crypto, but it's more just generally about like bubbles and like, you know, in like investing frenzies, collecting frenzies in general. He talks about like just collectible assets or so-called treasure assets in general, and how like, yeah, sometimes they increase in value, but they're usually like they're lossier than like traditional assets. They're more subject to risk. They're more subject to like market whims. They don't generally outperform. Sometimes they do, but in general they don't outperform the market. So they're just kind of stupid. I don't know. Crypto is bad. He compared he compared NFTs to like the Beanie Baby craze, which I think is probably definitely true.
God.
Yeah.
If only the NFTs were as cute as Beanie Babies.
I know, right? They could at least be cute if they do nothing else.
It unironically would make it like harder to hate if they were like cute. I don't know, Animal Crossing-esque like little things. It's like, oh, look at all this. The fact that they're ugly is just like.
Honestly,
it makes it so easy.
Honestly, I'm
laugh
glad.
At them.
Honestly, yeah, I'm glad that they're ugly. Like, I'm glad that they look like shit. If they looked good, I feel like fewer people would hate them, which would be bad. Yeah. So, like, I'm glad that they look bad. I'm thankful. I would hate to live in a world where, like, they're good and people like them.
I guess the only other thing I have on my list of things to mention is that I've been reading a book. Could you believe it?
No.
It's called The General by C.S. Forester.
Oh, that's a good song. Do you know that song?
I don't.
I have seen the others, and I have discovered that this fight is not worth fighting. I like that song. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, The General, first published in 1936, is kind of about a general in his life and times before and then during the World War One, where he's like doing stuff. It's just really nicely written, and it's good. And it's a tiny little, ancient little book. But the best thing about it that I have found, is that I have this leather bookmark. And I love having a leather bookmark in my hands. While my other hands, I'm reading the book. Because I've had this for like more than a decade. I've used it for various books. It's a bookmark that doesn't degrade easily. I think I've had other leather bookmarks from like, I don't know, like you go to a fucking place or a zoo and they have like the generic stationery area.
A zoo.
Like, yeah.
When you try to think of a generic place, the first thing that comes to mind, like a zoo.
Places that are like locations that are cool for kids, and they
places
have
that
gift
give
shops,
like gift shops and memorabilia and stuff. Sure, yeah.
They have their things relating to the place they have, and then they have the generic stationery. Oh, it's a pencil with the name of the place you were at, a pencil sharpener, whatever. Mm-hmm. There's like a lot of these leather bookmarks. It's hard to say, bookmark. And they're so fun to have because you hold them and they give a little bit. And they're kind of tough, but over time you sort of wear it in, and it's a really good fidgety thing that doesn't break easily, and it's it's tactile. That's why I like reading real books, is only because the bookmark is so fucking fun to hold in my hand while I'm reading.
Yeah.
I can't get into Kindle because it's like, I'm looking at a screen. I've heard that screens are bad, even though it's not really that powerful.
Screens are bad.
But like, and if it's on my computer or an audiobook, I'm like, but if I'm listening to a podcast, audiobook, I gotta be doing something else, and I can't pay attention to it. But reading a physical book works because of the bookmark. Everybody should have a leather bookmark, and they will read like 100,000 times more. That's my pitch for bookmarks, leather ones.
It's a hard sell.
The General itself is a very nicely written book, but it is very old, and there are a few times where the hard R N word is used. I've seen.
What is it about?
Well, it's about a general in his exploits to like go through the ranks, and it's like it's a character book. It's not really like
So
about war.
It's a
It's
novel.
about this one guy. It's a novel, yes.
Okay.
I think there are some characters that are real generals or real like army officials that were integral to the war, and he interacts with them,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like he's kind of autistic. This guy, he's all very prim and proper, but he hates social interactions, and he just talks in very normal, not normal, but like very direct, emotionless ways. And he has like he meets the daughter of a duchess, and she is like described to be sort of horse-faced and ugly, and like not particularly, fancy and stuff for her station. She knows how to dress and all that, but it's like she's unremarkable, and he's kind of socially awkward, and they really loved each other, and they got on so well, and it's like she as a daughter of a duke and duchess doesn't really. She's quite sheltered. She doesn't know what a real man is like. She doesn't know what it's like to have like sex that's like good, and he's kind of bad at it. But because she doesn't have a frame of reference, she's okay with all that, and it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how this guy. I don't know. It's hard to explain the appeal of this character in this book. The General. Go read it. Just it's my book report.
Who's it by?
C.S. Forrester. So I said.
Oh, sorry. I'm stupid. Lol.
He's a guy who wrote something or other. What did he write?
He wrote something or other. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know books. I just like Phoebus or something. Something Hornblower. Observer. I don't know if I can know. I'm reading the back. I have it right in front of me, but yeah. The General. It's like
The General.
I think the thing I like it's Herbert Curzon is the name of the guy character. Yeah, the thing I like about him is that he's kind of autistic and very relatable to me in a funny way. In funny ways, like he's so old-fashioned, but like his thought process is like described in such a way that I'm like, yeah, you know what? Parties do suck. I do like not want to go to them.
True.
And he's all like he's really into making his army, his battalion, his squad. I'm not sure what you call it that he's in charge of. By the time the First World War is going and he's in the trenches, and he's like he's really into like being he's got a way with like making sure everything runs well for the purposes of being better than other people, and people respect his like strictness and his no nonsense stuff, and he's not like he doesn't have a good personality, which makes him perfect for like running a tight ship. And it's just sort of I don't know, it's weirdly cute. I find him weirdly cute as an old-fashioned timey general.
I'm reading I'm reading a bit of the story framework on Wikipedia. That seems I've never read anything by C.S. Forrester.
I just had it on my shelf and it's like, oh, this is old. Maybe it's good. Old good, new bad. So
true.
And it turned out to be true.
That's what I did with when I lived with those guys in California for a while. I just like one of the girls had a bunch of old books on her shelf, and I just grabbed old books and read them. That's when I read The Plague by Camus, and I read The Stranger, also by Camus. Just read a lot of Camus. Wait, is The Stranger by Camus?
I don't know.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. She must have been a Camus fan. Neat.
Oh god, there's a loud helicopter outside my window, but the window's open.
There were people talking. There were people talking like right outside my window when I first logged on, but they quickly stopped. So good for them. I appreciate that a lot.
Good for them.
I have only one more note about things I did this week, and it was something that I got really excited about, almost as excited as I got about drawing that angry face last week. It was about water. I was really hyped for different kinds of waters that I could acquire. I was I went on an Instacart, and I'm almost out of sparkling water. It's time for me to shop around for more. And I went to Hannaford's. I looked up the menu at Hannaford's. I looked what they have on offer in terms of sparkling water versus seltzer water. I looked at Aldi. I found new offerings at Aldi that I had not seen before. I now have a big shelf full of all different kinds of sparkling waters, sparkling water beverages, and seltzer waters. As well as just water beverages, neither sparkling nor seltzers. God, I'm truly rich in spirit. I have learned that many places sell things that are called sparkling waters, but they have artificial sweeteners and like flavorings in them, making them basically just soda, but with like a sort of health conscious branding to them. But I like them a lot. I love them. They're my favorite.
I think there was like a Tom Scott video explaining why Dasani isn't sold in the UK. Because like Coca-Cola owns Dasani, and Dasani is like an it's seen as an American thing to have mineral water where the minerals are added like artificially. And so like this kind of like there was a huge backlash against Dasani once that was found out, and because of a TV show of Only Fools and Horses, an episode where there was a scam. It was a comedy skit show,
okay.
And there was an episode where there was like a scam with like sewage water being sold as special something or other, and that was like in the public consciousness when that scandal happened, or it became a scandal because of that, and then they couldn't sell that water because nobody trusted it.
So
and so mineral water is like you can't put the things in afterwards. You can't add things to water. It has to be just water.
What the fuck? Wait, okay, so the problem with Dasani is that they add minerals to it.
Yeah, they have a treatment plant where...
And that's bad?
I think chemically there's no difference at all. It should be fine. And in fact it is, as far as I understand. Dasani, any water where you just... Mineral water, like from the Scottish Highlands or whatever, it gets bottled and then sold. And it's like, oh, it's actually from there. Or it's like, got rid of like crud and soil and, you know, bad things. They filter things out, but they don't add like chemicals in because of the public perception of that being a bad thing, even though it's probably fine. So that's just how water is in the UK. That's why I have never seen, or like rather, we have different brands for water bottles in the UK that I've never seen in America, or like the other way around. I didn't never have seen Dasani before I went to America. It was always Evian or Volvo or like stuff like that. Highland Spring. I think
that's the difference between sparkling water and seltzer. Wait, hold on. Okay. I think that like if they artificially carbonate it, then it is seltzer. If it's like naturally carbonated, then it's
naturally carbonated.
Yeah. Like certain. Okay, it seems silly, and I kind of feel like there's no way they actually do this. Like they actually go to like a naturally occurring like carbonated water spring and like obtain natural sparkling water from the spring. Like there's no way that they do that. But like supposedly that's the difference between seltzer and sparkling. In practice, I am finding that the difference is that sometimes they will just add a bunch of shit. Add a bunch of like flavorings and sweeteners and shit to sparkling water and make it basically soda. But not always. And then they don't do that, then it's just, I think the difference is that the carbonation is artificial and versus natural. And minerals, man. Minerals are just a whole other ball game. That's Really? So like, is it just a weird UK thing that they're like, you can't add the minerals. You gotta find the minerals. Got to come from the earth, or I don't want them.
Yeah, essentially. I mean,
okay, cool.
I think it was more just like a scandal happened, and then from then public perception was like, oh, it has to be like real,
natural.
Otherwise it has to be natural from, a water source or high up in the mountains or just wherever. But like you can't add chemicals into water, we won't buy it, and so that's just sort of continued. I don't know whether it's changed, but from what I remember from this Tom Scott video, which wasn't that long ago, it's still like that.
I'm reading some article here. Spring water is, according to FDA, this is American definition, spring water is, according to FDA, derived from an underground formation from which water flows naturally to the surface of the earth at an identified location, called a spring. It can be a man-made borehole, but there are other regulations associated with that if it's a man-made spring. Mineral water also comes from an underground source, but it differs from spring water because mineral water contains a, quote, constant level and relative proportions of minerals and trace elements at the point of emergence from the source. What? What the fuck? So mineral water is just spring water, but it's like, it has a certain amount, it has like the right amount of nutrients in it, or minerals, I guess. Artesian water refers to water that comes from a tapped aquifer. Artesian actually refers to the natural geological process of pressure that causes water from an aquifer, which is a layer of permeable rock and soil that can store water to rise to the surface and form a well. Oh, no, artesian. Oh, not artisanal. It's not artisanal water. It's artesian water, which is not referred to like craftsmanship. Okay, I know what an aquifer is because I played Dwarf Fortress. So, no need to explain that to me. myrecipes.com. Fuck.
I'm reading gov.uk about
so much
like,
rigmarole.
what is considered mineral water and the definitions of stuff. I think it's mostly like a branding thing. Like you can sell water where you add stuff in, but you can't call it mineral water or something because it'd be insane. I guess tap water is technically mineral water. I'm not even sure actually. Okay, this is just a list of all the natural mineral waters recognized in the UK and how to apply for recognition. Okay, well, whatever. It's not information. It's just a list. I don't know how to read this.
That definition that I just read seemed to specify that to be mineral water, it has to have the minerals when it leaves the ground.
Yes. So I guess the US has that as well? I don't know.
So Dasani is okay, Dasani is not mineral water. It is purified and mineral enhanced water.
Yes, that's the distinction.
Okay, I see.
It may have been. I may be reading too much into the video because he may have said that it's the reason Dasani doesn't get sold. Because there was an association with treated water being gross or something.
This reminds me,
not illegal.
Not illegal. There was a video recently from Folding Ideas where he talks. I think it's a British like celebrity chef. I forget the chef's name. But
Jamie Oliver. Yeah.
Did you see that the chicken nuggets video?
I have seen. I never really thought about it before, but it makes a lot of sense that he's probably like a bit of a upper class. The thing about like, oh, the chicken what's wrong with the nuggets is that they are unclean. They are made of the unclean part of the chicken, the dirty chicken meat, not the good clean chicken meat, the filthy haram chicken meat. There's that one line Dan says where he's like, if your criteria for eating a food is that it has to look nice at every stage of production, like that's a you problem. That's not really a mark against the food, that like at some point in the production, like something looked gross about it, right? Yeah. Jamie Oliver has been around. I've seen him a lot as like a UK like guy of food relevance note, and like he's definitely been like prominent in the way he talks about I'm just trying to protect the kids because they're eating all this gross, fatty crap and it's bad. And everyone's like, oh, yes, yeah, it makes sense. Never really thought about him like that before, but it does make sense to think of, like, he's health conscious, but, like, kind of in a stupid way.
Yeah. I mean, is it like in the video how he's sort of trying to contend that the nuggets are unhealthy, but it's not really argued that way. It's argued in a sort of like wishy-washy aesthetic. Yeah, kind of like,
I mean, I guess
this is dirty sort of way. Dirty for just reasons.
Yeah, just for reasons. I think it resonated with a lot of people for some reason at the time when he was hot shit. He was the young, crazy new chef kid on the block, and he's coming out with all these recipes, and he goes like bing bong bash bosh, put it in the pan like that, and I was like, wow. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow, sure. Look at this guy go. He's so quick.
Sure.
I haven't really seen anything that he does though, aside from saying that nuggets suck.
I mean, do you watch
like
cooking
recipes
programs? I don't really.
Well, my parents watch The Great British Menu, which is like super high-end chefs from all corners of the UK, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Wales, all that, Scotland. And they have like one from each district, one from each sort of area, north of England, Midlands or whatever. And they compete to make a banquet meal for like a big event somewhere every year or so. And that's a good one. I like, because they're like top of the line, like Michelin star chefs and they're really good at what they do. So it's very interesting seeing them make like insane meals to a brief of like a theme. That's quite fun. And then there's the Great British Bake Off, which is
I've heard of that one.
Baking. Yeah, that's a big one. Because it's that's fun. I don't really watch like much myself. I'm just sort of catch it when it's on. It's like, oh yeah, look at that fish. Look at them like chop those onions real quick. They know what they're doing. And I think I have seen a bit of Gordon Ramsay yelling at people.
Oh sure. Who hasn't?
Because that's always fun, I guess.
How did we get on this topic?
You were talking about sparkling water.
Oh, and how the like
feud.
Right, how the Dasani is unclean because the minerals do not come from the earth. I just remembered this. Do you want to? I mean, have you been following the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff? I've been seeing a lot of Kyle Rittenhouse stuff on Twitter.
I will not have too much to say about it. I didn't follow it when it first came out as a big news thing, and I still haven't really followed it. The gist I get is that he killed some people, and the court is determining whether, what should happen next. Is he going to get punished and thrown in jail for murder, or is it self-defense? And that's the big question, I guess.
It seems okay. People say he was defending himself, and in the moment, yeah, he definitely was being aggressed upon. The question in my mind is like, was he aggressing simply by being there? And I really think he was. I really think that the fact that he went to this place, open carrying, brandishing his weapon at the protesters, was like made him a basically constituted an active threat. And I feel like the protesters were defending themselves by trying to, disarm him. And I think, that's my opinion. And it's been very sad and disheartening seeing lots and lots of people, even people who you might have thought would know better, be like, watching the trial and being like, oh yeah, I guess it was self-defense after all. Oh yeah, I'm pro Rittenhouse now. It seems like in my corner of the internet, obviously everyone thinks he's guilty. Seems like the broader internet is turning pro Rittenhouse, which is just very sad. I don't. Maybe it's just doomer talk, but it seems like even the people that I follow a few people who are lawyers who have said like he's getting off. He's getting a full acquittal, which is very sad and makes me upset. But
I mean, in my head, like just assumptions I make from bits and bobs I see is that, oh well, he's white, so like him brandishing like an automatic weapon is like it's gonna be looked at less harshly by the general public than if it were a black person, and for that reason I just assume maybe he, but like I can't really assume that until I've looked more into it. So I'm just whatever. Maybe it sucks. Maybe it sucks what's happening. But I'm stupid and I haven't been interested enough to look.
I have been, honestly, I've seen some of the judge being like weird and bad, and I've seen a lot of the lawyers being like doomer about it, being like, this is fucked, he's getting a full acquittal, and like, I don't know. Yeah, I can't affect the outcome, and like, who knows how things will shake out. I feel like I know what's going on. I've kind of just been like, I don't want to read anything else about it until it's over, and maybe then I'll be curious what the verdict is. Why worry about it until then? I mean, I guess if I really wanted to take that logic all the way, like, why worry about it even afterwards? Like, it doesn't directly affect me. Why worry about anything? Why even care at all? Why not simply touch grass? Which, I mean, I guess that's true. I don't know. I have no conclusion.
Yeah, the thing is that I've heard is, well, it's like the details are iffy. Like, yeah. It's not like a police shooting where they had a body cam and it's so obvious that the policeman has done wrong, or like it was filmed, but yet still the police are getting off, with a tap on the wrist. So like from what, like the information involved in what happened is confusing. And so it could go either way. Like it could actually be like, I don't know.
It really
I think bringing a gun to a protest really betrays like what you intend to do at the protest. Yeah. Like, why bring such a large gun?
Yeah. He was there with a gun to protect property, other people's property, with deadly force. And some people online think like that's okay and that's good and people should be allowed to do that and should do it more, which is pretty fucked up. I don't know what else to say about it.
From a moral perspective, like stopping a window getting smashed by killing someone is not equivalent in any way.
There's no question that's what it was about for him.
Maybe it's an intimidation thing, but like, I don't know.
Sure.
You had live ammunition, whatever.
Yeah. Have you seen this judge? The judge really seems like a piece of shit. The judge really seems biased in favor of the defense, and he really seems like he doesn't know what he's talking about. And like there was a part where he just seems weird and like he just rambles about shit at times. And there's a part where like I didn't see this part, I just heard about it, but I guess the prosecution was like trying to show him something on a screen, and it was a digital, photograph or video screenshot or whatever, and they're zooming in, right? They're just zooming into the image, and the judge doesn't understand what zooming in is, and he thinks that they're like digitally altering the image by zooming in on it. And they had to like, I guess he asked to like
extremely old.
He's not like he looks like he's maybe like late 60s. He's pretty old. He's not like ancient. He's quite old. Yeah, but like I guess they had to like consult an expert witness about like whether zooming in on a photograph counts as like altering the data, but like it doesn't. He just seems like he doesn't like want to hear. He seems biased, is what I'm saying, and also incompetent.
Sure.
So, you know, who knows? Who knows?
It's
I don't know.
a lot of like I can imagine, I can imagine that there'd be some larger attempt to get Kyle out off easy by like familial connections or stuff like that. You could imagine a lot. I just personally don't know too much about what's going on, so it's hard to say, oh yeah, it's all a big bunch of bullshit. So whatever. I'll just say that I think it's dumb to bring a gun to a place like that and then not expect anything bad to happen.
If he gets an acquittal, the message is white people go out to protest with a gun, shoot protesters. The system supports you. Yeah, I don't know. It's bad. I have no more notes. I'm out of notes. I'm out of topics of discussion.
Okay.
You got anything else, or do you want to go on to voicemails?
Duh. No, I don't think so. Let's go.
Let's go. Do you have
Oh, I'll get it.
Whatever it's called. Open. SpeakPipe. SpeakPipe.com/PCP voicemails. If you want to send us a voicemail, baby. All right, let me just get these downloaded here. Oh yeah, I'm collecting these voicemails like NFTs. I'm right-click saving. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. The first one is called It's Venom, and somebody asked me, like, did I get to play this voicemail last week? They sent it like right as we were finishing recording last week. Shit, was it Oblivion Fall? Fuck, I don't remember. Somebody was like, wanted us to play this one last week, but I didn't. Lol. Anyway, It's Venom. 3, 2, 1, go.
Eddie, you must wake up, Eddie. Marx was right. He was right, Eddie. Marx was right about everything. But there's just one problem, Eddie. I don't give a fuck about the working class. I'm just so fucking hungry, Eddie. You must destroy the proletariat. Destroy the proletariat, Eddie. Why eat the 1%? There's only 1% of them. I would rather eat the 99%. Eddie, we must destroy the proletariat.
Oh, God.
That's right, Eddie. The working class. I will devour them all. They will all die.
Bummer.
And you will help me, Eddie. The only way that it could go wrong is if Ben Saint goes on the Drawcast today. And I really hope Daylight Savings didn't fuck it up, Eddie. Please. I hope Ben Saint doesn't make it to the Drawcast. That would ruin everything.
Okay. So yeah, this was because later that day, last Sunday when we recorded last episode, I did go on the Drawcast later with it was Cetol, Teleperte, was it Oblivion Fall? I think
Oblivion Fall is like is a host.
Yeah, I think it was it just the four of it? I think it was the four of us. Yeah, we did a comics jam, which the PCP invented the Drawcast, and I introduced the PCP to comics jams. So it's I basically own this property. It all came from me.
Entirely.
We did a.
Did you mention that on the show?
Yes, I did a little bit. And how I introduced. I think it was at BronyCon. I think at one of the BronyCons, I got everyone to draw a comics jam, sitting around in the hallway.
Well, hang on. I remember Munchie talking about someone telling him about it and him telling you about it, or was it the other way around?
No, it had to be the other way around because I learned about it from one of my fellow camp counselors at Astro Camp. I definitely did not learn about it from Munchie.
Okay, so you probably told Munchie. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I must have. That was funny. We did those were we did some pretty funny comics in that one. There was there's a Keg Standard and Phantom Horn comic in there too, which is very good, and I like it a lot. So I got teleported to draw Keg and Phantom. That will be out in a few weeks, I think, over on the Drawcast channel. So
go to the Drawcast channel. There's
check out
bunches of content on there.
And eventually, do you know when the telephone one is coming out? Are people still working on their drawings for that one?
People are still doing their drawings, and then they're gonna come back around and ask us to like have like a bit where we like commentate with them over our section of the drawing, like sped up. So it'll be still a while before that's finished.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just wait for that then. That's delicious. Lemon seltzer water, not sparkling water, not flavored, not sweetened, just regular, just a hint of lemon flavor. God, I love deals. I love
I love the taste of a deal.
I do. This is the taste of a deal. I'm looking at the Instacart, man, and I'm going through, and they got cans. They got LaCroix that costs like fucking $18 a can. Boo. Then they got like off-brand LaCroix. That's can. It's also cans in a box. That's less. Not good enough.
LaCroix.
Then they have like the liter bottles of the various different flavored sparkling waters, or like the 6-pack cases of like the smaller bottles. You want to get it bottled, you want to get off-brand, and then it's like cents. It's like pennies, literal pennies for me to drink like a king. All the flavors of the world of deepest, darkest Peru, deepest Africa, and the tangy mangoes of the Amazon rainforest, all brought to to my palate from places unknown, all for pennies on the dollar. Anyway,
I'm just thinking of like a blue steel keg of LaCroix.
Blue steel? Why would it be blue?
Well, like I don't know, just sort of like painted blue, like a steel keg, or like a wooden casket of LaCroix.
LaCroix is fine and all. It's just that it's name brand, so it costs more. And it's the same. It's the same fucking product. Next voicemail is Red 5 Rainbow. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, wait, do you think Trixie can, like, copyright strike you for selling the Road to Radcon books? Or no, wait.
No.
What's the real life one? It's DMCA.
No, because she abandoned it.
Because, I mean, she did write them, and you're making a profit off of it.
She wrote it for...
And she, like, hates you?
It was specifically a Kickstarter. It was specifically a Kickstarter reward that we promised.
Yes.
And she promised to deliver it for the Radcon and then didn't. So like I mean, yeah. No,
and
absolutely not.
She didn't finish it. Ben wrote the final chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not entirely, but I don't know. I feel like
imagine if she tried. Imagine how
stink, but
imagine
like, I don't
how
think
fucking
could happen.
Imagine how fucking stupid she would look. No, nothing would happen. No, it would be impossible. Lamau. Next voicemail. Good question. Good question. Fair question. But the answer is no. Next voicemail is called Your First Voicemail Recording Always Sucks. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ben, look, we love you, but your defense of investing in Bitcoin without mining Bitcoin the other episode was off base, and someone needs to fucking tell you that. Just because you don't actually mine the cryptocurrency itself doesn't mean that you're not doing harm, because you still do harm by giving it legitimacy by giving them money. If nobody invested in Bitcoin, its value
that's a
would
terrible argument.
Plummet, and it would just be
that's really stupid.
Tossing the same couple $1 million back and forth with each other. Just because we exist in society doesn't mean that we need to participate in the worst aspects of it. Just because I exist in society doesn't mean I must go on to become a police officer. Just because I exist in society doesn't mean that I must go on to become a landlord.
Listen.
Just because we exist in society doesn't mean that we have to do
I got it.
all the bad things that society does.
Listen.
We need to also work to make society better.
It's true.
And that's what I'm criticizing about you right now.
If only nobody just had invested in Bitcoin, then cryptocurrency wouldn't be a thing. If only people didn't buy NFTs, then NFTs wouldn't be a thing. Like, yeah, obviously. I said this last week. Like, okay, somebody Dag Zaggles DM'd me on Twitter with what I think was meant to be a technical explanation for why crypto transactions are the same as mining. And he said something about like airdropped coins, and I gotta be honest, I didn't understand what he was telling me. Dag Zaggles, if you're listening, I am sorry about that. I don't get it. But maybe you're right. Maybe on a technical level, it is the same. In which case, it is what it is. This argument that like, you're giving it legitimacy is just, I just don't care. I'm sorry. I said this last week. I don't like Bitcoin. I don't like cryptocurrency. I don't like lots of things. I don't like banks, but I still have my money in a bank. If I knew for a fact that Bitcoin was gonna like double in price tomorrow, I'm sorry, I would buy Bitcoin. I would put all my money into Bitcoin. Would that be giving it legitimacy? I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Maybe some insignificant. It's too late. It's too late for me to do anything to like actually stop it. But like, if it was gonna explode tomorrow, I'm sorry. Yeah, I would get it because like, I want my money to double. Like that I guess it's selfish, but like, I don't think me not getting it would have like a significant impact. I want resources. I need to accrue resources. Every person needs to accrue resources in order to thrive. And I'm sorry, I gotta look out for number one.
Yeah, I get the argument, but it's like, it's not that you should strive to engage with things that you don't like, but like, it is a kind of a, like at a certain point, everything you do is bad because it's all tied up in the economy, which is tied up in other things that like disenfranchise people or enslave people in other parts of the world. It's like, it's hard to not participate, and when you don't participate in a small section of it as an individual, not much changes at all, if anything, ever.
It is not.
It's not really the onus isn't really on the individual to set an example that can change, I don't know, the world. If you have a lot of reach, then yeah, you got more onus on you to do that. I guess we have some reach. It's just so small that it's like, it's I don't know. I have never claimed that like my own personal not owning Bitcoin is like a moral stance. The reason that I don't own any, actually I have a little bit that I had to pull out of KuCoin, but like whatever. The reason that I don't own a significant amount of Bitcoin is right now is because I believe that it is a bubble that is going to pop at some point, and I don't want to be left holding the bag. I'm sorry, if I didn't think that, I would buy Bitcoin. If I thought it was going to go up to, if I was really convinced it was going to 100K, I'd buy it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to, or maybe it might, but I also think it's going to crash. And I just am like, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking like, at some point I think it's going to pop. It's going to crash. And I just don't want. If I invest, even if it goes up a little bit from now, maybe I could make some money if I invested right now. At some point, though,
there's going to be losses. And I think it's probably best avoided just so that I don't end up holding the bag. I don't know.
I guess the issue...
I could be right or I could be wrong.
I guess the issue of that argument really is like it's adjacent to like you live in society. Like you criticize society, like yet you live in it in the same way. Like
he referenced that.
You could be, well, yeah, but like
and
it's saying, you should like show us how you would live outside of a society, or like how you would live in a better society instead of living in the one you're in now.
Right.
No, maybe it's not entirely like the same. I'm trying to think of how to put this, because like he said, just because you live in a society doesn't mean you have to do anything.
He said just because you live in a society
like,
doesn't mean you have to participate in the worst parts of it.
Right.
And I mean, true. I
But
don't have. I don't
but
have
by
to
doing
do.
it, we're not saying we have. We're not saying anyone should or had to. I don't know. I feel like it's just it's putting the pressure on an individual rather than like the point of pointing it out and saying, hey, you're doing a bad thing, is it just hurts individuals more than it like changes the world, if you know what I mean. Like people just feel bad about what they're doing, but the system is still structured in a way that it's hard to not do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I don't find too much of an issue with him complaining about you or I doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't find it helpful either.
I mean, I guess I appreciate anyone who is like, I mean, if you're sitting there and you're like, Bitcoin is definitely going to the moon, but I will abstain from buying it because I think that it would be morally wrong. Like I would commend you on your principled actions. I would say that's a pretty impressive like moral sacrifice you are making or think you are making. I wouldn't. If
I still like chicken nuggets, and even though the meat industry sucks, I don't know.
Consider
there's so many things I could be doing to make statements and stands about like how things are bad, and I will only do the good things. And I don't know, it's too hard.
Consider this, viewer. Say that if you threw all your money in Bitcoin right now, and then it was going to blow up, and you were going to make $10,000. You were going to get $10,000 from Bitcoin, right? If you did that, by not doing it, you are basically throwing away $10,000. So, are you willing to just personally throw away $10,000 of your potential dollars to not inflict whatever environmental damage would be done by that amount of Bitcoin transactions? I don't know exactly how much that is, unless I saw evidence that like it was really like doing like more than $10,000 worth of harm to the world, I probably would still do it.
It's hard to quantify.
Yeah.
And it really would only... It's like a lot of things. If everybody had that attitude, then the solution...
I wouldn't sacrifice that.
...would be there.
Unless I
knew... Like, everybody stopped using cryptocurrency, and then everything's great. But of course, how do you influence everybody? You don't do that by telling each person individually, because a lot of them are not going to agree, and then the people who do agree, not all of them are in like a good, like the best situation to change up their habits. Not necessarily just with crypto, but with anything that like eating meat or doing this or that. It's not everybody's in the right position. Some people are, and even then they might get lazy. It's I feel a waste of energy to go after individuals to wag your finger at them and say you're doing a bad thing by giving legitimacy yourself, you only. I think but at the same time, I don't know what they could do instead that would reach more people, because that's hard anyway. So
it is.
I guess continue to
I guess I can't.
people.
I can't blame anyone.
I can't blame him.
Yeah, I can't. Next voicemail is called Caramella Boy. 3, 2, 1.
Hey PCP, I was in for a shitty day at work, but then something magical happened. Ben said, check out this stupid caramel dancing video by Jan Nasali. And so I went and did that. And it was just a magical 40-minute trip. I was smiling the whole time. It was like I was in middle school again. When he said balsamic vinegar, I had like the biggest pog in front of my computer screen because I was like, oh my god, that's the joke from Lucky Star. It all makes sense now. And it was just exactly what I needed to make my day better. Thank you so much, Ben, for recommending such an amazing video. And even though he's probably not going to hear this, thank you so much, Jan Masali. That was an amazing video. You are a true god. Thank you, PCP, once again.
Caramella, the Jan Measley video is great. Jan Measley has made a bunch of good videos. I think that's probably his best.
It was definitely the most I've seen. He did ones on like letters, and they're like, I think that's the same guy, right? Like talking about the letter E or something. Maybe it was numbers.
Oh yeah, he's done a bunch of videos about letters. He did a bunch of videos about...
They seem like intellectual, like, oh, I guess I need to be a letter nerd to really appreciate this.
A bit, but he has moved more into like more media stuff and more like YouTube friendly stuff recently, which is fine. His old stuff is pretty interesting, but it's very like, who are you going to talk to about like, oh, I learned some interesting facts about the letter C today.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Next voicemail is called Who? 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, I wanted to ask you guys the who, what, when, where, why of RadCon. I'll start with the who on this week. Who do you guys think is going to show up if you do another RadCon? And also, who are you going to name it after? Surely you can't keep it named RadCon.
We could if we
after
wanted.
Trixie's dead name, especially after Trixie is kind of not friends with the show or the group.
I don't care about any of that.
Maybe you keep it. RadCon's a cool name.
Yes.
But yeah, who do you think will show up, and will you change the name?
If we did it, a name change maybe if we wanted to. I don't know.
Possibly, because like being obviously, I don't think a lot of the people who used to come would want to come for various different reasons. Munchie doesn't want to be on the internet anymore. Trixie obviously is just gone, and we don't like her, so she's not invited. Tom would show up. Maybe Nate would show up, probably, if there was like it was nicely organized, and potentially Jesse. But like as a stretch, I think if it was a big enough deal and we asked, he may show up at some point. But I don't know. I have no idea what he feels about the state of the PCP at the moment.
Wait, I'm being rude on Twitter again.
Oh, god dang it.
Okay, good. I have spewed my bile on Twitter, and I will probably continue to do so. Anyway, the next voicemail is called Addressing Only the Maddest Niggas. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
A few absolute maniacs who are really listening to the PCP from the start could maybe, just out of the kindness of your heart, compile a list of all the times they talk about Homestuck or Andrew Hussey, then send it to me, or just, put it on the comments. I would appreciate it very much.
What does
Did you understand the question? What was the question?
Yeah, he was saying to addressing like mad people in the PCP audience. if you could get all of the instances of the procrastinators talking about Homestuck or Andrew Hussey and then telling him in the comments.
All of them?
We talk
That's
about
that's so many times.
over the entire of the podcast, so that's a lot of timestamps. I don't know what they plan to do with it.
By the way, this is the guy that I'm pretty sure called into the Animorphin Time podcast that one time. This is the voice that I'm almost positive called into the Chris Grinds episode of that. So if you've heard that episode of Animorphin Time, let me know if you think it's the same guy. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. Next voicemail is called Boris J. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ben, do you realise a lot of PCP viewers also listen to the Big Show?
I'm sure some of them do.
I feel like
what am I supposed to do about it?
The vast majority of those who enjoy the Dick Show probably don't enjoy the PCP, but maybe they do. Except when politics comes up. I don't know.
I'm sure
whatever.
I'm sure there's some crossover. I mean, you know, a lot of people who listen to the PCP were Digi fans, and Digi shilled the Dick Show a lot. So, like, yeah. I don't know, man. Whatever. I don't agree. I don't like the Dick Show. But, like, what's to be done? Next voicemail is a tweet. Here, I'll post the tweet in the server.
Oh, is it coming up?
Why is it
Is
not?
there a typo?
Sorry, the link doesn't work. Sorry, buddy. Try again. Next voicemail is called Fuck Ralph. 3, 2, 1, go. Huh? What? You there?
No, it's fine. It's good.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
So I don't have any friends, so I just decided to like ramble into the void, aka like your ears. I just watched the Ralph the Movie Maker video about Linkara, and I don't know about Linkara. I don't know if he's like bad person or like cringe or based, because I'm not the fucking nerd. But like that video, that might as well be like the Ralph's embodiment of Trixie going on that podcast and basically just projecting all of her flaws, because this smug little asshole, like, he made four movies that all fucking sucked. He charged like $20, $30 for them on Blu-ray. He had like funding for them, and they fucking sucked ass. And he has the audacity to mock like another person for acting badly, like he acts any better. That fucking rat-faced little fuck. I hope he fucking...
Wait, so he's talking about Ethan Ralph, right?
No, he's talking about Ralph the Movie Maker.
Oh, he charged $40 for a shitty DVD of what?
Of, well, movies he's made, I guess.
Oh.
And yet he criticizes Linkara's movie, I think, is the hypocrisy. I don't feel like that's fine.
Did Linkara make a movie?
I guess.
Well, I mean, if this guy thinks that Ralph the Movie Maker made worse movies than Linkara, then, I mean, that's a pretty strong claim. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen Linkara's movies. I gotta assume they're not good.
Linkara is a bit of a cringe individual, but,
Yeah.
you know, they make the type of things that their audience enjoys.
If this guy is
continually,
saying
so-
that, like, Linkara gave better value for money on he gave it at a more reasonable price and all that,
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough.
I
If
feel like-
this guy thinks that Linkara gave a better product,
Yeah. I don't know. I think, well, he says he doesn't know about Linkara, so he's coming at it from, like, Ralph the Movie Maker makes bad movies and yet criticizes them, which I think is I don't find that to be a problem if somebody makes a bad movie. I mean, I like Red Letter Media, and Space Cop was terrible. It was not a good movie, and yet they think they can talk about movies.
yeah.
It's,
I mean,
it's a
you
different
don't
skill.
necessarily
but
have to
whatever.
be. You don't necessarily have to be a great filmmaker to criticize movie. You don't. What they always say, you don't have to be a great chef to know if food tastes good or whatever. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know too much about Ralph the Movie Maker.
If
but
two
he did
people
make
make-
a few good videos, so I'm biased, I guess.
I've seen a couple Ralph the Movie Maker videos, and I guess they're fine. If two people each make a shitty movie, and then they each point to each other's shitty movie, and they're like, "That movie sucks," I guess they're both right.
Yeah.
They can both be right. Yeah. I don't know. Seems like Linkara doesn't really criticize people a lot. It seems like Linkara takes it personally when like other internet people like say his stuff is bad, and he like doesn't really do that. He like gets pissy and like complains about other people who are like too critical. Seems to be his thing,
Yeah.
but which is okay. I mean, it seems like he doesn't dish it because he can't take it, which is fair enough. Honestly, it's valid. It's perfectly valid. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any of these movies, so I don't fucking know. Next voicemail is called PPR, PCP Public Radio. 3, 2, 1, go.
From member station WFLG, I'm Sydney Norman with your weekly roundup. This week's story, the trial for Kyle Rittenhouse continued with an explosive day on Wednesday as Rittenhouse took the stand for cross-examination. Rittenhouse began crying during his testimony, describing how he improperly used a weapon he intentionally brought with him to a volatile situation in a community he is not a part of. This prompted Judge Bruce Schroeder to admonish prosecuting attorney Thomas Binger for asking Rittenhouse questions. Judge Schroeder then called a recess and told Rittenhouse that he was, quote, Bruce's big, brave boy, and that Rittenhouse earned an extra hour of TV time that night. It wasn't long after the court had returned from recess that Judge Schroeder threatened to hold Binger in contempt for referring to the individuals that Rittenhouse shot as people. Bitcoin up 4%, Ethereum up 2%, XRP up 2%. This is PPR.
Another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. That was half factual, and the part that wasn't factual was just extrapolating from the existing facts of the case. That's pretty much how it is. Bummer. Okay, next voicemail is called "It's True." 3, 2, 1, go.
Shreddit raped my dog!
Shreddit what?
Shreddit raped my dog!
Shreddit raped my dog.
Wait,
Well,
is that what they're saying?
I think he's saying Shreddit raped my dog.
Oh, yeah, I guess that they might be saying that. I guess it's true,
I
because
guess
they
it's-
put 4 exclamation points.
Yeah, that's what convinced me. Next one is called... Okay, there's no voicemail. It's just called "Why is the header of the PCP website so enormous?" And
we
the
like
answer,
it like that.
I don't think that's true. The answer is that it's just like a default template, and that's how big the template's header was. Yeah, we have a picture of a cactus. We have a picture of a succulent on our website because, by the way, okay, we gotta change the description of the episodes because apparently the episode descriptions still link to the MP3 like Google Drive folder, which is no longer updated. If you want the episode MP3s, you got to go to the website now. The episode MP3s are all available on the website. That is where we upload them now. So we should change the description.
Make a change there.
Yeah. Okay, that's that. Next one is called "Good Morning." 3, 2, 1, go.
I love you guys so much. You guys are...
Thanks, man.
I've been listening for years. I love you guys.
We've been podcasting for years.
You guys are my buddies. My parasocial buddies. I love you. Hope you're having a blessed Sunday. Happiness, health to your families and to yourselves. Ben, I would like to know your thoughts on Infinite Jest and David Foster Wallace. I know you comment about them before on the podcast. I remember that, and I know it's a comic, but I don't remember the details of what you actually think about the book. And the first of all, I have the book in my hands right now. Kisses. I love you guys.
I haven't read that much David Foster Wallace. I've read Infinite Jest, and I've read one or two of his articles, or his short stories rather. Like I read I think it's called like A Very Fun Thing I'll Never Do Again, the one where he goes on the cruise ship. That one's kind of good. It's cool, I guess. Infinite Jest. Oh, I've seen the movie based on is it called Portraits of Hideous Men? I haven't read that story, but I've seen the movie based on it, and I thought it was all right. The Infinite Jest book is really long. It's probably too long. It drags at points. It took me like a whole year to read it. The thing with like the footnotes and like the huge indexes at the end is it's pretty annoying actually. Like having to keep two bookmarks and like flip back and forth through the whole book is very irritating. I don't like it, but it is what it is. But like there's scenes from the book that I remember years later that I have retained and that I found interesting. So I guess it was worth reading because it left me with impressions. So would I recommend it? Yeah. What else can I say? It had interesting ideas in it, even if it was pretty bloated. Oh, okay. Next voicemail is called Ben Saint. I don't know how to. Et vous comment ce? I don't know how to speak French. 3, 2, 1, go.
My accent is Brazilian. You guys have Ben, you have commented on my accent one or two times. It's Brazilian. I'm from Brazil. Eu vou comer seu cu.
I thought it was South American, so I was in the right ballpark. Next. This reminds me, in a mental game of telephone I just played as my neurons were reaching out and touching each other and wriggling around. That reminds me that one of my roommates is Brazilian, which reminds me of one of my other roommates who I have never even barely talked to, who I heard this week listening to Tim Pool in the fucking kitchen, and Tim Pool was going on some unhinged Kyle Rittenhouse shit. And I just want to say, it makes me really mad, and I hate that guy. And that's all I have to say about that.
The title of that translates to "I will eat your ass."
Et vous comez ce cul? Oh, yeah, that sounds. Oh, that must be Portuguese then.
Portuguese, yes.
Yeah, well, because actually, which is basically just a mix of French and Spanish, as far as I'm concerned, and I don't care to learn any more about it. That might prove that wrong.
It's Spanish adjacent, literally.
I mean, yeah. Next one is an Imgur link. Okay. I like this one.
Crunchyroll video and Trixie.
This is Trixie's Crunchyroll video getting 10k views. Oh man. I like that they use the toothless thumbnail. Yeah, Trixie's Crunchyroll video did pretty good, like for modern day Trixie, which is to say that it cracked 10k views. Woo! Yeah.
Wow.
That was her big shot. The big move there is like mining old Digi stuff for like new takes about it, referencing and remixing and regurgitating. It sort of worked a little bit. Good for her, I guess. Next one is oh man, this is doing numbers. Next one is called NNN Week 3. 3, 2, 1, go.
We're going on 2 weeks now, and I gotta admit, I did struggle a bit this week. I was on Twitter checking out the latest Ben Saint tweet when I saw a Nate tweet on my timeline
Oh.
saying he was about to start streaming on Twitch. My mouse hovered over the link for an uncomfortable amount of time before I worked up the courage to do something that would have seemed impossible years ago. I unfollowed Nate. Anyone who takes No Nate November seriously should probably do the same. Unfollow and unsubscribe from Nate. Stay strong, No Nate Nation. And as always,
No Nate Nation.
No Nate, yes watch.
If you
You're
are
playing with fire if you're still following Nate.
If you are serious about
During
No
No
Nate
Nate
November, if you're serious about No Nate November, I would have to agree. Being subscribed and following is definitely playing with fire. There's no question there. Hey man, stay strong. You know, I know it's rough. It's tough out there for a no-nater. But we're all in this together. We have committed to a no Nate during November lifestyle here. We are a Nate free zone for November and perhaps ever. We will see. Next voicemail, and this is the last voicemail, mercifully, is called Giraffe Titty. 3, 2, 1, go.
Shut up, Ben. Just shut up.
Okay, sorry. Well, I guess I will, because the podcast is over, so... Yeah.
Was this in reference to my persona?
Yeah, I did. Your giraffe sona. I don't think so. What would be the connection there?
The giraffe has titties. I would have thought
it
would be about that, but maybe
yeah,
not.
I would have thought so too. But it's just a guy telling me to shut up. So
well,
I don't know, man. I don't get it. Duh.
Oh, I guess one thing I didn't mention is those little hand-drawn, like mouse-drawn commissions I did. I've stopped doing them because I don't like having responsibilities of any kind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are pretty cool. People like those cute little things. Go to twitter.com. Find my Twitter. It's the best one. It's the only good one.
Yeah, find it. Find it somewhere in there.
Just find it. Just
not going to tell you where. It's a needle in a haystack. But when I'm gonna leave it up to you to find it, so that when you do, you'll have more satisfaction. You'll get that dopamine. You go, yes, I did it. Oh!
I love games that have exploration, and what better way to exemplify that love than to just tell you to look for it, idiot?
I haven't played Noida in like a while. I think I've basically quit Noida.
Well,
honestly, good. I played way too much of it. I played way too much of that fucking game. It's probably good that I haven't played it in a while. It's good. It's good. I'm free. I guess that's it. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
Go to patreon.com/giveandtake if you want to know about my secret project.
That's true.
I reveal it.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Say next month.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm gonna because I want to hear that.
I'll get into a lot more specifics next month because when I first made that, like, this is what I'm working on, it was the beginning or like at the end of last month, and I hadn't yet got a lot of work done. But now that it's fresh in my mind and I've been working on it the last few weeks, there's more to say. So at the end of this month, you should patron, and then I will explain a lot more. I'll get into the details.
I will plug Anamorphin Time again. Maybe by the time this comes out, the episode with Bob Disgaea will be on, and I will be eagerly awaiting hearing them say patreon.com/Ben Saint. And who knows how many other wacky things over there. Funny stuff. That's it. Patreon.com/The Pro Crastinators. Get our bonus episodes. Hear that juicy drama, learn some fun facts, find out what to do if somebody calls you a gay wizard. I guess that's it. Good.
And speakpipe.com.
Oh, right.
If you want to send a voicemail,
naturally.
The link in the description.
Naturally. All right, that's that's the episode. See you next week, everybody. Good night, Godspeed, and peace.
Get fucked. Oh, that.
No.
What you said
No.
instead.
No.